All right. Enough depressing geography thought.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we had a plan for how we're going to open this wide.
Are you recording now?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh,
now.
well, then this is how we open this one.
Boom. Did it. Welcome to Bottle Episodes.
What an intro.
I'm David Piccolomini.
I'm Daniel Crow.
And this week we're joined by a lovely comedian.
Patrick Holbert. Hi, how are you?
Hey, guys.
I think your intro was perfect because it was half-hearted and thrown in because we just needed something there, just like Work It was a mid-season replacement for a show that we almost covered instead, Man Up.
Yep. Man Up was a show that there's a type of show that is like, what is it like to be a man?
Yeah.
As like the concept of them. And almost all of them are bad.
Yeah.
As a whole. And I think this one is I think this is still in that same vein, I would say.
Yeah.
It's just doing it from, well, let's get to the premise. You would explain the premise?
Of Work It?
Yeah.
The premise of Work It isn't it funny when guys wear lady clothes?
That is true.
And importantly, doesn't it make them a little less of a man? That's another thing I think Work It believes.
Does it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
make them
they're
feel...
very ashamed of it.
But they're doing what they have to do for their family. Like I think there might be a Breaking Bad overlap. There might be a thesis paper. There may be a thesis paper to write about doing what you have to do to support your family.
One of the guys doesn't have a family.
Right.
He just does this so he doesn't have to sell tacos.
Right.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to work fast food.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing more denigrating than dressing like a woman every day, according to the show.
But
Yeah.
he also has a fetish for power tools, and he needs the access to the corporate credit card to buy.
Oh, yeah.
To buy his fun toys.
Yeah, he's like it's full materialism. Just he's like, I gotta be the best mechanic with the super cool toys.
And it was short term. It was probably like, well, I can make a lot of money at this new job, and I don't have to work at the taco store anymore. But then he falls in love. Of course, there's a love storyline. So
you gotta have a love story with this. So the show. It's Lee Standish and Angel Ortiz are out of work. And the only way they can get a job in the corporate world now in sales is by dressing up as women and pretending to be women at work. And no one can tell, despite it being Benjamin Koldyke, who he looks like the exaggeration of like what a Chad looks like.
Yeah.
It's like you stretch it out to its max amount of jawline.
Yeah. They went 10 on every scale of testosterone, jawline, bro-ishness, doofy husband. The swing from the mood swings from doofy husband at home to ditzy woman in the office. It's just like pretty hardcore.
But we never get to see the transformation.
Yeah,
which is one thing that the show really is missing out on.
Yeah,
I don't know. They might have it. We only did watch 2 episodes. They might in between the pilot because we watched the pilot, and then we also watched for our bottle episode. We watched the Masquerade Balls.
Yeah. Well, they do. There is a montage scene where Angel hasn't joined him yet, and he says, "Well, how do you do it?" And he says, "I'll tell you how it works." And then it goes to a montage over Black Eyed Peas' "My Humps." And it's over my humps, and it's a montage of him like playing dress up, essentially.
Oh, that's true.
But I remember that, but I think they're missing a lot of opportunity for humor because they should see like what are the logistics of how does his wife not catch him while he's
right?
Is he wearing her clothes?
Oh, he is wearing her clothes.
Does he have to change back before he goes home?
Yes.
Where does he do that?
Yeah. I got a lot of these details. I think you just want to watch more episodes of the show.
Yeah.
Look, I loved Work It. It was my favorite show of all time.
I mean, it's very bad, but I had a lot of fun watching it. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Patrick, let's get to the other part of why you were a special guest for this one.
Yeah. I mean, well, I will say as a person who dabbles in cross-dressing, it was fascinating to see how mass media, popular culture, mainstream TV, primetime TV would tackle such a niche thing in 2012, by the way.
Exactly, which is not far enough back.
Right.
For it to be the like, I feel like we were still coming out of like being like, we got to stop with the ironic racism.
Right.
Like,
yeah, like Tootsie could do what it did in 1988 or 86 or whenever that was, because that was it was a little bit more fringe back then, and now it's so drag culture is so mainstream, alternative sexuality is so mainstream that to do something this corny is offensive. I guess that's what would make it offensive. Like, impossible to do in 2023.
Though I guess is the argument then that if Work It had been able to live on the air and find its footing, it could have Will and Graced its way through too.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I guess no, I'm not actually making that argument.
Well, what I kept coming back to is like, this could work if it were like artfully done on HBO, but it's not like them passing as women in the workplace. It's about men resorting to like
having
OnlyFans. Honestly, I kept thinking I could see men out of work like going to OnlyFans to do gay for pay or like jerk off videos and shit like that.
Yeah, so pause this and delete that so that you can actually make that show.
That's a great show, honestly.
Don't put that pitch out there in public.
I mean, Gillis made that great sketch about the OnlyFans dad. Did you see that on Gillian Keeves?
I saw it a while ago, but I don't remember which angle did it.
Yeah, basically he's doing crazy sex stuff on cam to like support his kids, and his kids are aware of it, and they walk in on him like sitting on a Sybian machine. Like it's crazy, but that's where I went. Like, this is such an interesting commentary on like. There's a late stage capitalism paper to write about this. Like the premise is the car factory's gone down, right? Like they
can't sell Pontiacs anymore.
Right.
This has also been a script that was clearly a couple years old when they made it, though. They wrote it right after the Great Recession.
Oh, yeah, good point.
It took 3 years to get it made.
Yeah.
Because they were like, we're not doing the cross-dressing sitcom. We're
Please!
not.
Yeah.
Please!
All right, man up didn't work. Lady up.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of feelings and thoughts about it that I don't know how I can coherently say them
here,
all,
let's just start with like the beginning is literally they're just hanging out at the bar, or they're not, or they're at like a workplace.
I think they're at the Applebee's Bar and Grill.
That's what. Okay, it is like that's why it felt like an office, but also a bar.
Yeah,
and also in the show, fellow comic John Caparulo.
Yeah,
who is bored to be there.
And just doing like weird like sexism, like toss off, like I guess it's trying to make you have to, in order to make your main character seem likable and reasonable, you have to have like a guy who's even more insane.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So otherwise, it's like, no, these two are weirdo assholes, and then you put him next to John Caparulo, who's like, women are taking over everything. They're taking over my job right now. I'm a garbage man, and they're gonna be garbage men too.
Yeah.
We're just gonna be used to sex slaves for them, but not in cool ways.
Yeah, which was a funny joke the first time, but then they call back to it like 2 more times in that episode.
They probably call back to it in other episodes we didn't watch.
Yeah.
Just more cuddle. Yeah, what is it about kissing? Like you're gonna have to do women's sex, which is mostly kissing and cuddling.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is
I don't believe any woman's ever wanted to cuddle with John Caparulo. He doesn't seem a good cuddle to me.
What are you talking? He seems like a good cuddle. He's just like a teddy bear.
Nah, I bet he smells like chewing tobacco.
Could be.
Yeah, he might smell like fried food and chewing tobacco. That's true.
Yeah.
That's based off
at
accent.
least it's a character.
I want to apologize. I know John's a big fan of the show, and he's listening right now, and that's uncalled for.
The Cap Man.
The only Rulo I like is Jason Derulo. So, so it's Lee Standish and Angel Ortiz. So Lee, eventually, they're just complaining they can't get a job. It's all over. He's cutting costs everywhere. He's like turned off his daughter's cell phone.
Right. The medical issue. He goes to the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
His insurance has lapsed.
It's a proctologist, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's just checkup, I thought.
No, there's a proctology component.
Yeah, and that comes up repeatedly too. Like, there's a scene where one of the real ladies is sexually harassing a handyman in the office.
Two of them are.
The 2 women are, and at one point, somebody makes a joke about getting bent over or getting penetrated or something, and Lee Standish says, "Well, I guess that's better than the other way around." something basically like very homophobic and very like penetration phobic.
Definitely homophobic. Well, yeah, it's definitely homophobic, which makes sense because he's a straight man pretending to be a woman.
Right.
But also, it's such a weird thing of the prostate one because doesn't he come out and like that wasn't bad?
Oh yeah, and he said, "Oh, the drinks helped,"
or
something
the
like
drinks
that.
Helped, yeah.
Appreciated the drinks or something like that.
Yeah, the whole. I mean, it's not obviously it's not a progressive show. Nothing about this is. But
I think they probably when they were writing it thought it was to a degree.
Well,
and then just kept getting whittled down.
I
That's
think
possible.
It also does that thing where it would appeal to.
You're going to find out something fun when you click Ted Cohen's page. You're going to find out what he's working on. I was going to tell you,
All
but
right, well, I'll save it then. I'll save it. It's a Friends producer.
Yeah, Ted Cohen was as well, but just wait till you go to his page.
All right, I won't go to Ted Cohen's page.
No, go ahead. Let's put it in now.
He's one of the producers of it or a writer.
And oh my god. Okay, so he did Work It. And then in 2013, he was a producer for one episode of Super Fun Night. And then briefly in 2014, Robin Banks and the Bank Robbers, which I don't think got made. But then we had Veep right after that. And then Succession as a co-exec.
And a writer of several episodes.
He's a writer of several episodes of Succession?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can come back from anything.
You could come back from anything.
You can come back from anything.
Well,
this guy created Work It, and then he was on Succession.
This guy created Work It, and then was on Succession. He wrote on Succession.
Should we verify this? Because I have a feeling there are many, many Ted Cohens.
No, it's on his IMDb
Los
page.
Angeles. Okay.
Same guy.
Look, I'm going to his Wikipedia, which he may have also edited. But
good for you, Ted.
Honestly, incredible. Listen, during that moment, there's going to just be a moment where Succession drops. The theme song's going to drop.
Right.
In there.
They're
not to be confused with the jazz musician or author.
Or philosopher.
I mean, Work It does deal with family power struggles.
A big business?
Yeah.
You think he was hired because of his experience on Work It?
One of the guys' name is Brian Cox, famously necessary for this premise.
right. And I would say Lee Standish is like a Tom Wamsgans. Like he will do whatever it takes. He will sacrifice his own personal morals.
Do you think he was working on Succession and be like, I actually have a guy that you might want to have audition as Tom?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that's very funny as like a concept.
I mean, it's... I mean, who knows
that's
anybody's career? Like I don't know. I don't mean to like not have fun with this conversation, but Ted Cohen like creating this series, Work It, and writing the story arcs and dealing all the characters, like that does make you good at bigger and better things. So
there we have a confirmation from Vulture. It's the same guy.
It is the same guy. He also worked on Friends before that. So that's the thing. Is like Friends, and then all of a sudden you have credit and credential now to make your own thing, and then Work It is Work It so weird that they're like, I don't know if we can give this to a Friends writer.
I mean, I remember when it was coming out, people hated it. I think.
But it was also it's one of those things though. Honestly, now I want to give it a second chance almost.
You want to give Work It a second chance?
No, I don't. It's bogged down in network so hard.
Yeah, and it's so bad. Like the dialogue and the interplay. I mean, it's as sitcom-y as it gets, where it's like, oh, she's the dumb secretary, so she's never gonna have any kind of like she's never gonna be smarter than this. And also the dumb secretary is like very beautiful, but they make her look dorky, so that's like enough or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, well, then they're bad. They're bad at it. Absolutely.
Something occurred to me watching this, which is in all drag movies or shows, why do they only do drag to get a job?
Yeah, like there's some kind of stakes involved.
I guess bosom buddies, they do it to get an apartment. But other than that, everyone does drag for a job.
To be fair, to get into college, you have to do blackface.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
And the
that's
motive,
the movie trust.
Mrs. Doubtfire was connecting with your family.
But he had to get a job
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
He had
like
to become a nanny.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Okay, fun thing about the person who created Work It.
The other one?
Yeah, they were a writer on Friends. and then they did Super Fun Night, and Robin Banks and the Bank Robbers.
Oh, that's.
And then very much not
on Succession.
Not on Succession.
Yeah, that person and Ted had a falling out.
Yeah.
2019.
Have you ever
Andrew
considered
Ted.
that Ted only got on Work It? He was on Work It, and then it was hard for him to get jobs, so he dressed in drag, and that's how he got on Veep. And then he's like, yeah, it's Theodora, but call me Ted for short. And so then he was on staff for that.
He's like, I'm a little lady.
Yeah, and Andrew was unable to pull that one off.
Oh my God. I hope that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I mean, do you agree though that there is a single camera version of this show that's on a prestige network like HBO or Cinemax?
Isn't it called
Yeah.
Transparent?
Sure.
No,
Yeah,
because
possibly.
he was just trans.
Yeah. So no, because I
I-
think that's the thing is the arbitrary. I think, especially in today's age, if you take the idea of pretending to be someone who has less social benefits than you to take advantage of the social benefits that they do have, is inherently, unless you're going to make that character a bad person who then learns that what they're doing is not great. But then that also makes it a miniseries because you can't. How do you transition that over the course of a show?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is you'd also have to nail. We live in a world where prosthetics are too good,
Right.
so you'd have to nail that every day, and that's insane to do.
I think
Yeah.
I think I totally see what you're saying with the prestige version of it. You start off with a guy that is incredibly homophobic or something, and he has to confront that this is his life now.
Yeah, like there's got to be. I mean, let's say there's some redneck who is homophobic and maybe is even like a white supremacist, like very visibly online, and then there's some like wealthy gay fetish guy who's like, I will pay you $1,000 a day to send me jack off videos, and like this weird dynamic gets struck up, and then
This is a different show, but I like because
It comes from the same place.
It
though.
comes from the same place, which is taking something that is inherently considered sexual, and what will you do for it, even if you're not sexually? And it's the will you blow a guy for $1 million?
Yeah, exactly.
Done
Yeah.
over. It's boiling the frog of blowing a guy.
right.
Which also sounds like a term for
Boiling
it. It sounds
for-
like a euphemism.
Yeah, that's its own category on Pornhub.
Boiling the frog is when you stick your balls into a hot water until you can't hold it anymore.
Right.
Is it weird how quickly I got there?
Yeah,
That's called boiling the bullfrog.
and you have to rib it, or you do it, or he's not going to pay you.
Well, no, that's if you dunk your balls in and out like a teacup.
Yeah. At the end of the is there a format to the podcast?
we
I don't mean to like keep jumping between.
No, we could jump to the next
We could-
episode if you
here's the
want.
thing.
I only
Here's the thing
watched the
about-
2 episodes.
That's all we were watching. That's
I
all we
didn't
watched.
expect you to watch the whole season.
Well, I want to watch more now because where I was left off with at the end of the Masquerade Ball episode,
Balls.
which is
masquerade balls.
which is Angel getting so close to admitting to the boss that I'm her and I'm interested in you, and
Yeah.
it's like so close to, and I'm like actually
as they're
invested.
falling in love,
Yeah.
as like the cousin.
Yeah.
I did do a little bit of research, and I don't know if you'll get a resolution because apparently the episodes were out of order when they aired.
That's
The
hilarious.
finale, it seems, was supposed to be the 4th or 5th episode, and it just involved. And by the way, only 2 episodes aired in America. The rest all aired in New Zealand for some reason, which is how we were able to find episode 11.
That's wild.
But the finale was supposed to be very early, and it's just them trying to get an autograph from a baseball player named David Freese, who
Is that a real baseball
it's
player?
a real baseball player, but not a very popular one. It's the one they could get.
Well, CBS has the rights to him somehow.
This
Yeah.
was ABC.
Oh, ABC.
It's set in St. Louis, and he had just played very well in the World Series. But outside of that, he was just an okay player.
Okay, but he just
ABC
played
is-
very. But yeah, that's
But
fair.
get Albert Pujols. He's in St. Louis.
But ABC is like the Disney company, right?
They have a lot of
Yeah.
sports access,
That is so.
but that's probably
interesting.
just the one they. No, you know what that is? That's the one they could get for the guys dressing like girls.
I don't know. They could have got a more notable player off the Cardinals than David Freese.
2012 baseball.
Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
probably.
Albert Pujols, Yadier Molina, Adam Wainwright, or something.
This is his superpower.
Yeah. I'm curious. So, was it hard for you guys to suspend disbelief over like nobody mentioning like there were some like strong jawline jokes, things
Oh,
like that.
yeah, no,
but nobody mentioned 5 o'clock shadows. Like
No, they have like
it's
little-
very obvious.
Here's the thing: if one very masculine looking woman comes into the office, you kind of go, "It's just a masculine looking woman."
Yeah.
If that masculine looking woman brings in their masculine looking woman friend to the office,
Yeah.
you go, "Something's up."
Yeah.
This is the thing that Republicans were warning us about. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
this one specific one.
Let's just have one informational with HR.
These men are coming in as women and taking our jobs. They're just mixing up the metaphors.
First, it was Joanna, man.
I think that's the main problem with a lot of these you're just taking like being like they have it easy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the whole central premise is like, oh, it's much easier to be. And I think the jerk off thing adds so much power to the other side of it with the money.
Has there been a woman pretending to be a man for a job?
Yeah,
thing?
all
Well,
the time.
Just one of the guys. What
Oh,
was the
yeah.
premise of that? She
College.
wanted to be like on
There was
the
a-
swim team or something.
There's one.
Yeah.
There was one recently. It's a historical drama, Mrs. Something, or probably Mister actually. It was a historical drama on HBO, and I will remember it shortly when I finish Googling it.
And then there's also was $1 Million Baby about this?
No,
No.
she's just a.
She
she's
was
just
in,
a boxer.
oh, a boy.
Hillary Swank.
She was
Boys
in
Don't
Boys.
Cry.
Yes.
But
yes.
no, that's trans character.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
That's different.
I'm revealing
that.
a lot of
Also,
ignorance.
I was going to say that a lot of on that side is usually more on the but I guess dressing up.
Just someone trying to get a job, so they pretend to be a guy.
right.
There's plenty of them, I'm sure.
What about the Medea stories?
Medea is canonically a woman. And that's
Medea's
it's
just a
Tyler
woman.
Perry
Yeah.
is a man.
Yeah.
He is in drag, but Medea's not supposed to be
Right,
someone in
right.
drag, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, that's more just following that
Yeah.
historical trend
And then I think
of Big Mama's house and such.
Well, no,
Right.
Big Mama's house is a character in drag.
That's true for a job.
Yes.
And then the Wayans brothers have done some movies with.
Yeah, where does white chicks fall?
They need to go undercover as women for their job.
This is
No one does drag just because they're like, it's something I'd like to try out, and then comedic things happen.
I would be curious to watch the rest of these episodes on Work It also to see if any of them have any kind of like actual breakthrough. Like, I mean, what I'm into in a sexual way has nothing to do with like wanting the past to look like a woman or whatever. It's just like a weird thing. I'm curious if they ever.
She's the man, by the way.
Oh.
Oh, what is that movie?
That's Amanda Bynes wants to play on a soccer team.
Yeah, so women,
But it's a historical-
women do drag to play sports, it seems.
That is very true.
But that's a
That's-
job.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It-
see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shakespeare in Love
Yeah.
for a job.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What is the one with Eddie Redmayne? Is that Shakespeare in
That's
Love?
That's
trans.
trans.
Okay.
The Danish girl.
I'm a real shithead. I am. I'm mixing sorts of.
This is why we didn't bring a trans person in for the cross-dressing episode.
Right, right.
Yeah.
We probably,
You get halfway into the episode, they're like, I.
this
is who I am.
We're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not like Work It. We're just completely ignorant.
man.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
But there was when we were finding the episodes of Work It, we did find that there was huge outcry from the trans community against Work It.
Of course.
Yeah, and I also read that there was the Latino community had issues, and what was that about?
For
the over
probably homophobia.
It was because all the good players on the Cardinals were Latino, and they went and got David Freese instead of Albert Pujols or Yadier Molina. It's an insult to those two. Hall of Famers they're going to be, and they went and got David Freese.
I mean, listen, it's crazy how well most of the people from this show are doing.
Yeah, I mean
They worked it.
Yeah. Lee Standish is the actor who plays him was on Curb. I don't know who or what episode, but
He did he did an episode of Curb, but he was on The Good Place, playing a real piece of shit.
yeah.
In fact, like an intolerable piece of shit that like had so long to keep trying to get better. Let me see, Masters of Sex.
It's an alternate name for Work It.
Yeah. He just consistently just works in television.
Do you think there's an
and then the other guy was in Prison Break.
Yeah, for like years.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an episode of Work It where the mechanic who is not married, do you think he tries to go on a date and he has like a revelation where he needs to treat women better? I feel like that's an episode that doesn't happen, that we didn't see. But that feels like an obvious episode.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these had some it was like almost, it was like getting to the edge of like making like a point or realizing something, and then they just kind of it just kind of ended usually.
Right.
I did read in while looking up the show, Lee Standish talking about, he was like, having tits has made me feel way more powerful.
Interesting.
He's like, people look at it. It doesn't matter. They know I'm a man. People still just look at it's made me feel like.
But he said that in an interview outside of the show. Like this was
4 years later. He was still doing it.
Right,
he really liked
it.
it.
Right.
No, this was during the show, obviously.
But press. You're saying
Yeah.
this was in a press interview. Yeah, that's too bad because it's like there could have. I mean, that's the thing on a sitcom. Where and how would he reveal something like that, a feeling like that? You know?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, and I'm speculating wildly as this whole podcast is at this point. But like, if you had gay men dressing up as women, does that like
permit it?
Not permit it more, but it's not like a straight white guy or whatever. It's like,
the stakes are lower, you know, because like this is like two very straight men.
I guess the whole thing of it is that it hurts their whole standing in society, is what they feel like will happen.
Yeah,
which it probably would in the suburbs of Illinois or St. Louis.
Right.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
If this had been a hit, what would have happened? What changes do you think would have happened to Succession if it ran for 10 years?
Yeah, what if Ted Cohn was tied up on Work It?
Yeah, what were his ideas that he brought to the writer's room in Succession? Is he the one that introduced Alexander Skarsgård's character or something?
Maybe Boar on the Floor?
Yeah, that could be gone.
Sausage fight?
It's just Lee Standish being like, I ate my own cum. Close loop.
yeah.
There's just scenes from Succession in late seasons of Work It.
Well, that is an interesting question. So there is all the stuff with Roman's alternative sexuality.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And his sexual kinks and fetishes. Were those Ted Cohen ideas?
What is Ted Cohen getting up to in his private life?
I mean, big time Los Angeles producer. He
Ted,
probably gets into
write us
stuff.
in your kinks.
We'd love to have you on the show, Ted.
That is an overall point of general media. Is you can look at any. A dominatrix taught me this. If you look at most movies, you can tell what a director's kinks are, what they find hot. Because like Tarantino with feet is the easy one.
Yeah.
But then it's like leather. If like all of a sudden someone's got leather riding gloves or stuff, it's oh, that's a style choice that you're putting in that you think is like a cool hot thing.
Yeah.
I'm now terrified of what Wes Anderson is into.
Just structure,
Yeah.
organized.
That's scarier than feet in
Symmetry,
my mind.
color palettes.
I can't have a threesome, but I can have a fivesome. If
Yeah.
we have to,
If two
you
of them
stand
are
like
puppets.
this, yeah, two of them, a fivesome with two puppets.
Yeah.
TikTok, I'm directing an orgy in Wes Anderson movie. So the second episode has more of a plot. The first episode is basically just adjusting the plot, the pilot, getting you
setting us up. Yeah.
getting used to the whole idea of it, introduce all the characters. But the women, there's the boss who they think is a lesbian because one person said she's a lesbian for no reason. Essentially, they're like, we think she's a lesbian because she likes golf or something.
Like she won a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Is the reveal at the end. I don't know if that was a reveal.
Yeah,
but
they just kind of say it. They're like, I think she's gay.
You win one golf tournament was the exact line.
Yeah.
But in order to win a golf tournament, you have to play a lot of golf, in fairness.
Yeah, she's a corporate professional.
She likes golf.
Yeah.
She was underselling it a bit.
If she was a man winning one golf tournament, they'd be like, he's probably very gay.
Yeah, no,
Right.
Tiger Woods is a lesbian. We all know this.
Tiger Woods.
He loves women.
He does love women. That's statistically, he can't stop.
Right.
Tiger, come on the show. We'd love to have you on, Tig.
Your show will be the PGA Tour of 1994.
Tiger Woods, whatever show you want to cover, you can pick a good show that you think is bad. We'll debate you on that. Every show is a pitch for someone else.
Right.
Tiger Woods comes on. I hate Seinfeld.
So the Masquerade Balls episode is
Very good, timely Napoleon Dynamite references.
Oh yeah, that was great.
2012.
2012. They have to go to a masquerade ball for her work as a.
It's
She's
like
a nurse.
fundraiser. Yeah,
it's a fundraiser for a doctor or whatever.
Which was news to me because she really made it seem like neither of them were employed in the pilot.
That's what I was gonna say too. As an interesting like societal level observation is like they keep talking about how he needs to get a job and how this is going to devastate their family. Then we learned she's like a registered nurse.
It's like
they do well.
You could probably do okay for a little while.
You're just not doing a giant level of this. You're not. Yeah, you might not be able to live in the house you currently have on a registered nurse salary by yourself. Yeah, you can't live in the opulence that a Pontiac dealer was doing.
Right.
But it is that thing of like we can't survive. It's like okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so they have this fundraiser, and is this the double date? It's not the. Oh no,
no,
this is
it
where
is.
she meets. Right.
So then they're like, so it's like you got to come in your Napoleon Dynamite costume, low effort. He's always trying to make an excuse to get out of him because he's always sick or something, but he forgot about this one. So now she's like, you got to wear the Napoleon Dynamite costume. I'll wear a Pedro costume, and then together it'll be great.
Yeah.
And then he goes to work, doesn't have enough time to wear, or he spills something of the Napoleon Dynamite
Concealer.
costume.
Foundation or something.
Yeah.
He spills makeup on Napoleon Dynamite.
So now he can't even wear it anyway because then he would have to answer for his crimes of drag, I guess.
Yeah. So he lurches into that party with his hunched shoulders and his square jaw towering over everybody.
Do you have any notes to give him regarding his drag posture or anything?
I mean, not really, because I've never been interested in it at that level. It's more just like, oh yeah, I'll wear like some nylons and jerk off, or let someone spank me while I wear them, whatever, like
your notes are not what I expected.
So
speaking of strange turns of events, boom, ad in the middle. Okay, guys, if you want to check out more stuff from us, you can check out Patrick Holbert at the Holbert Report on Instagram. You can check me out at DPIC Comedy on Instagram or Lit Grandma 69 on TikTok. And Dan Crow can be found at Daniel F. Crow on Instagram. Check us out on the things. Great. Cool. My comedy special, Goblin King. Great. We did it, guys. Good job.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm very familiar with drag. My wife and I love watching drag, but no, I thought they were pretty good. I mean, they could have spent a little more time, especially Angel, learning how to walk in heels. Not that I can do better than that, but it was just like very obvious that is a man walking in women's shoes.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. There was no poise.
Right.
Not a lot of balance on that.
No grace. He didn't float into a room. He really
he clumped.
Yeah.
That's how. Well, I mean, he's a mechanic. Like
yeah.
That's pretty accurate to character, I guess. But I guess if you walked every day in heels for 9 months, you'd probably pick it up.
Yeah. They also.
Where did they get the size 14 heels?
Oh, they belong to his wife. We went over this. Right. His wife, that's notably smaller than him. He was wearing her clothes.
But
Angel
specifically looked much smaller, more lithe, more not feminine, but
more feminine than.
But I was gonna say than himself as a guy. Like when he goes into her office in that last scene, and he's in like the black leather jacket. There was something about him. I'm like, he's so small and dancer-like. But when he's as Lady Angel, he looks so big and bulky and
This is
weird.
like the John Caparulo of femininity. He doesn't look masculine unless you put a wig and a dress on him.
Exactly.
And then it's like,
oh,
well, very clearly these features
they were probably padding the dresses a bit to make them look, because it's funnier if they look more masculine.
Round, it could
squares.
Be. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I think the thing about it of like, in the central premise of like, obviously you have to suspend your disbelief for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not like a question. But within the framework of it, it felt weird to have to suspend your disbelief.
Right.
Is that like, because I was like, you have to make them look a little more believable or else this is like.
Yeah, I guess I've never considered until now that not only are these men dressed in drag, and it's funny because they're in drag films and shows, offensive to people that do drag. They're also offensive to all of the women that surround them that never catch on.
Yeah.
They really think women are very stupid and unobservant.
Those 3 women in the office who are not the boss, the secretary, the British lady, and the blonde lady, are so dumb. Like, they paint them to be so dumb and like surface and like obsessed with like material stuff that it was like, it was kind of a bummer.
Well, it's like, if you're going to make a show about what it's like to be a woman, you can't make all of your female characters so dumb.
Exactly.
No, they weren't just dumb. They were also horny.
Yes. Yeah.
They were dumb and horny and like aggressively objectifying.
Which brings us back to like, you can tell what the fetish of the director is based on how they make the thing. And obviously these guys, I mean, I'm curious, were there any women on the writing staff?
There were, I think, I definitely noticed when I looked through, there were at least 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Well,
which is the correct proportion. We can all agree. Now I want to know, now that I'm like really envisioning the two of them.
Yeah, 2 on a rating staff of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
On a rating staff of 11, 2 women for the show about what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
They're working it.
Did you guys watch Kroll Show?
No.
Parts.
The publicity sketches where Nick Kroll is a publicist for a PR company. Very similar drag presentation. But for some reason, I think it's because the sketch format, it makes it all much more believable.
Sketch is not supposed to be believable. Sketch is supposed to be quick.
Yeah.
Sketch is supposed to be like a
cartoon.
Yeah, they're cartoons in person. They're 3 minutes long usually.
Yeah.
And so the idea is you're not watching someone and trying to get invested in a character like publicity.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to laugh at her being silly.
Right. Yeah, this I don't know. I think good TV and funny TV, like the sitcom, how much longer can there be sitcoms? You know, like I think when our parents are done with watching TV, the sitcom is over. Like,
well, the laugh track 3-camera sitcom.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Someone could try to revitalize it.
Yeah.
The way I feel like, oh god.
Well, I guess I was just gonna say with the right premise or the right hook, but I think the hook itself would be something dark or weird or I don't know.
It would have to be in a point where you could do an actual live audience virtually. That's when it would re-switch around, because a place where you could have all of your friends hang out and if you could all watch it together at the same time, but like 50,000 people.
That's interesting.
Or you watch, in like pods. You have your group of friends. You all watch the show together, and it's all. I mean, so I guess that's kind of the studio audience, and you just do it on a more mass scale, because that's the thing TV right now is missing in my frame. It's like there are so few Succession moments or stuff where everybody's watching, and even then, everybody's watching it on a 2-week scale,
right?
For those giant moments, even.
And it really is a shame Work It never got popular enough to have those moments.
Yeah,
where everyone was watching.
Could you imagine people tweeting about the Work It finale?
You'll never believe what Oi, Dinkum. It's in New Zealand.
Yeah.
I had a friend tell me something once about how he knew the show Method and Red would never be a success. And I think it applies to Work It in so many shows like these. Like, you can't... Method and Red was a show about Method Man and Red Man. It was a sitcom that was on TBS where they went back to college, I think.
Hell yeah.
He's like, he knew it wasn't going to be a success because he could never imagine a promo 9 years later, and finally America's tearful goodbye to Method and Red. and you that's the same thing with Work It.
Yeah.
You just see the commercial and well, this is going to be one season.
Well, that would be a fun experiment to do where because in Mrs. Doubtfire, you do get the payoff of everybody learning the truth, and it's somewhat traumatic for all parties involved. It's emotional,
but they don't play Sally Reed as an idiot,
right?
But because Sally Field,
yeah, but yeah, what does happen when everybody finds out the truth on this show? And I guess we don't know because they never got there, right?
It is weird if they're aired out of order, but they knew that they were only going to last one season, so that episode 6 people find out the truth. Yeah. And people in New Zealand are just watching it for 7 more episodes after that.
Wait, do they not know the truth anymore? I guess, yeah, how do you handle the ramifications on a show like that? It's very, it's heartfelt, because it happens several times. Because I'm surprised they don't have anyone in the office that knows already by episode 11.
You know what would be a
Right.
really fun, stupid thing to do? Get everyone aware at the end of the first season, but then tell them, you know what? We like you as a woman. You can keep working here, but you still have to be in drag.
Right.
But we all know you're a man.
Well,
That would absolutely happen.
because ostensibly Lee is doing well with his sales because he turns his daughter's phone back on. He pays the bills. Like
He's a good salesman.
everything's happy at home.
Also, I forget what they say. The only reason they're hiring women is because doctors want to fuck women more.
Yeah. That
There
line,
are lady doctors.
Yeah, the way she says that line. Oh, she
Not
says,
enough, apparently, to
'Cause-
justify it in the market.
Because they found that doctors want to nail women more. She says
Yeah.
nail, and I remember hearing that word. And I'm like, I can't imagine that
What
at
pharmacy
8:30
rep?
p.m. on a network show.
It was better than what they were saying in Man Up, presumably.
Yeah. What is Man Up again?
Oh, so Man Up.
It's what Man Up got canceled, and this was the mid-season replacement.
Yeah, but who was on it and stuff?
I'm trying to remember now.
We'll have, to
I
bring
wanna-
you, we'll have to bring you back for when we do the episode on Man Up.
Right.
Listen, you could be our man correspondent.
Yeah.
Man Up. It was 2015. No, this is the movie. Shit. I'm not good at researching on the spot. We
Yeah.
need a producer.
You need to man up.
Well, and also Work It. There was a film called Work It that I initially started IMDbing.
It's Matthew Zickler, Dan Fogler, who, Matthew Zickler of Continuum and various other weird. It's just a show about literally it's three 21st century men attempting to channel their inner toughness and redefine what it means to be a real man. I watched like 5 minutes of it. Yeah, I'm glad we went with Work It is more positive for sure.
Yeah. I'm curious, if Work It aired now, what would be the blowback? Would it be more blowback from conservatives saying, here we go again, ABC putting more child molesters on my TV?
Oh, God, and then liberals have to defend Work It?
Well, so
Or would it be liberals saying, this is homophobic, this is, transphobic, whatever?
And so then right-wing people will be like, we love Work It, actually.
Yeah.
It's making fun of all these things we don't
Yeah.
like.
Right.
I mean, it could be the which does happen, where people go, oh, no, this isn't for any of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is trying to make its point or trying to make a different point, but either way, it's not making any of them. So we're going to just all skip it.
Yeah. I mean, it is very dumb.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the experiment of watching it for the purpose of talking about it, because I did kind of think I would never, if this started playing, I would never continue watching it if I didn't have a reason to.
You shouldn't.
But it was kind of fun to listen to the patter and the pace of the joke writing. It's like, oh yeah, there is a joke every other line here.
It's still like an ABC sitcom.
Yeah.
Through and through, one after another, bounce, bounce, bounce.
And Lee's character has the same joke format all the time, where he very ironically and sarcastically says the truth.
Oh yeah.
He'll be like, no, I did go to my new job today with my regular genitals and my regular clothes, or whatever stupid
just
thing.
Just lies of omission everywhere.
Yeah. And it's just very templated throughout.
We actually never got past the doctor thing because we got really down a rabbit hole of people changing their gender for jobs.
Right.
So they're at the doctor's party. He's there as a woman. Who was it?
Dr. Gupta?
No,
Oh, they were Napoleon Dynamite?
No, what they looked like instead. It was like Joan.
Joy Behar.
Joy Behar.
Yeah.
He shows up as a woman. Their costume doesn't make any sense now. She's just kind of a racist Mexican character.
That was a good line she had. She said,
Yeah.
now I just look vaguely racist.
That was a good one.
Pretty well delivered.
Pretty vaguely, though, because she didn't darken her skin. There are just white guys that
good.
look like that in
Which is
Texas.
good.
Yeah.
Her worst joke was in front of her daughter. She says, now your dad's going to want to come home and for saxophone lessons. Something about sex. She says sex,
lessons.
and it's in relation to her husband in front of the daughter, and then she changes it to saxophone lessons, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, that is fucking horrible.
That's
See, I was about to
awful.
defend that joke so much because it's my favorite joke ever. I'm stealing it. I'm putting him in my act.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a different one.
No.
That was. That's how bad that joke is. That I was like, clearly he's setting up for a worse joke.
Right.
No.
Yeah, so everybody thinks somebody says, "Who are you supposed to be?" Joy Behar. Is
Yeah.
how that comes up.
What was the other?
Which is the View an ABC show? It is, right?
Is it?
I'd be fucking pissed if I was Joy Behar.
They should have got her to guest star to just be at the party. You're like, dude, come on.
And the handyman calls back to that later also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. And then the coworker's there.
Yeah, so that's where she meets Dr. Gupta, and they form they make the decision to go on a date.
Yeah.
Double date.
Yeah.
And then the only possible way they could do that is as a double date,
Right.
where he shows up as himself.
Because his wife works with Dr.
Gupta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he finesses or finagles it so that the coworker doesn't show up.
Yeah, he convinces her that it's like, hey, you know what real ladies do? They leave mystery.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do here so that I don't have to explain this to my boss
Yeah.
or my wife.
So she ends up getting to go on a date at the end, though, with the guy that was fixing the air conditioning,
Right.
who the other two ladies in the office were hitting on.
Yeah.
But then they end up hooking up with that air conditioning guy's brother,
Oh yeah, the
Who
soldier.
was actively trying to fuck.
Joy
Yeah.
Behar.
Right.
It's such a mess.
Like that's where it was crazy though how sexual it was. I just couldn't get over that. Like I guess I just haven't watched. I know Friends would like allude to sex obviously and hooking up and boyfriend girlfriend and whatever, but like there's like literally like tickle balls jokes in this episode, like where they're like, oh, and I recommend you give it a little tickle from the bottom or whatever.
I feel like there is a level of dirty comedy but it's all because it's all phrased around euphemism and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, oh, that's what it is. It's because they're giving a straw blowjob.
Yes.
And they're trying to do it and it looks bad. And then Angel's like, oh, well, as the man, let me help you.
Yeah.
With this, he's like, just tickle the balls, tickle the ice, and suck on the straw or something.
Right. Yeah. And then the last, like the pre-credits button, the two girls are flanking the shoulders, the soldier, and drinking their drinks and doing that to the bottom
Yeah.
of their glasses. And I'm just like, this is...
Hi, we're making you think about this guy's balls. I hope
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
It was not. It had already been canceled by that point.
Yeah, that was for New Zealand eyes only.
Yeah.
Things are a little different in New Zealand.
They're a little more crass from what I understand.
Do you think when they were filming their last batch of episodes, they knew these were only for New Zealand? I'd like it if there's an episode out there, like the last one that they filmed with a lot of New Zealand-specific references.
It would be pretty incredible to know the numbers, like how much money was spent on this. Like, if you just think of one day of production where
Everyone worked for scale because they loved the script so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
This is a love project.
This is a passion project, yeah.
I was looking to see if it had the budget. It does not have the budget on here per episode.
What's the rate? 3.1.
3.1 on
Wow.
IMDb.
Well,
Yeah. 111 though. Masquerade Balls 7.3.
Why? It was not notably better in any way.
It was definitely better than the pilot. The pilot has the problem of them speaking too fast.
well, and that scene where the boss catches Angel scamming the credit card, and then she goes to his house, and it's like so close to them learning the truth, and then when he goes to the office to apologize the next day, there's like some real emotion in that scene. Like he really desires
good
this
actors.
woman. Yeah. And he has a funny little, it's funny, it's emotional, and then he has the funny line at the end. He's like, all right, see you tomorrow. I don't know, I thought that was pretty clever. By the way, anything positive I'm saying, this is all with an asterisk. That is, this show is fucking dumb.
No, this is I don't think anyone. Just look at the poster once and tell us it's not bad.
Well, even the graphics and the music, like the title screens, it's just so. It's kind of just like.
It's weird to have something this exotic put into something this generic.
Exactly. It's so basic. It's like basic humor that could actually be like really interesting.
Yeah, why isn't it more about blackmailing and jerking off?
Yes.
I do love the idea of that's where this show goes, is just it slowly over time switches.
Yeah.
To
I don't
like
know.
them doing more and more different things to make money because they're just slowly running out of.
I mean, I'm just so fascinated by like where we're at in terms of like what the limits are to what a person can earn in their life and in their profession. Like everything's designed now to keep us all permanently renting shit and like subscribing to stuff, and like if you're we're all going to eventually be both buying from Amazon and working for Amazon, like as a culture.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like these guys lost their jobs and probably won't get another job in automobiles in the U.S. because there are no automobiles being made here. So like, how far does that go? Like when everybody is like out of jobs and can only make a certain amount of money working for a corporation, the entrepreneurs
Gotta dress as women.
put up like women do well. I think the good ones on OnlyFans can make like pretty good money. I think
You can make crazy money. You can also make nothing, but then in
Yeah.
general, you still will make some generally.
yeah.
Question from Daniel.
It's not a question. It is a thought.
Okay.
I think this would have made the show way more interesting. The boss should be a woman pretending to be a man, and they shouldn't notice.
And it's a reveal. Like it's
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Like, you can become a salesman if you're a salesperson if you're a woman because the doctor will sleep with them, but upper management is reserved for the guys. And it's very clearly a woman. Like, the audience can tell, but our characters can't tell.
Just
That's
add a
hilarious.
third. I honestly, it does add a lot to it. You know,
At least then you're acknowledging this show is stupid, but we know it's stupid. We're having fun with it.
yeah.
Oh, fun fact: she was also the woman who was the boss. She was also in White Chicks.
Oh.
What a weird way to get typecast.
Yeah. Because
And a Medea movie.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I saw that. I glanced at her IMDb. It looked like a lot of like crime drama type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's so beautiful and a good actor.
Would you dress in drag to start a relationship with her?
I would, yes, just to get close.
would
Dress
you
and drag just to sleep with her after.
Would you
Right.
pretend to be your cousin that stole a credit card just so that you could run a scam?
Well, just to be
talk to her?
shamed. I mean,
Yeah.
shame is a turn on for me. So to be shamed by her and scolded by her, that's sure. I'd do crimes.
If shame is a turn on for you, you should create a show like Work It.
yes,
Uh,
for long term shame.
Honestly, that's the best argument for puppy love I've ever heard. For helping us with puppy love.
Cut that out. Cut
Yeah,
that
yeah,
out. People
cut
are not going to hear about that.
What is puppy? All right,
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Yeah, anyway, what's it called? So yeah, I think, and then that's how the episode ends with Lee, his wife, none the wiser, just think he's kind of an asshole,
Yeah.
which is how every episode seems to end in this show.
Yeah, that's a thing that comes up for me a lot. Now that I'm a dad and now that I have feelings about fatherhood and parenting and whatever, it is very obvious to me when I'm watching a movie and it's like, oh, another my dumb husband joke. Like I start to get pissed off about it, and like that's his whole character is like she's just like he doesn't remember the dates of like what they have planned for. He's like obviously the main earner of the family because everybody's upset that he doesn't have the job anymore, but then he's also the dipshit of the family.
Yeah,
It's like fuck off.
In fairness, his plan to get a job was dress in drag.
Well, yeah, of course. No,
it wasn't to hang out with other car salesmen or car dealerships
Right.
or other people who are in his line of work. His job was simply
Find a pharmaceutical company that hires men.
I mean, I don't know. I guess an argument could be made. He's a hustler. Because he literally overhears somebody say at the doctor. That was the doctor's waiting room.
Yeah.
He hears somebody say, "Oh, I'm in medical sales and everybody's killing it right now, but they're only hiring women."
Yep.
And he seizes that opportunity.
yeah. Really, honestly, he is a hero. I think that's what we got to at the end of the
Yes.
episode. Everybody who worked on Work It is a hero. I'm still not over that they went from Work It to Succession.
No. Veep in between.
Yeah, with Veep.
Well,
yeah.
Veep is an amazing show
Yeah.
too.
They're both amazing. They're both amazing.
And you
shows.
can actually see the influence of Veep on Succession. Like,
Oh,
I thought you were going to say Work It
I thought you
on
were going to
Veep.
say Work It.
No,
I
no,
was
no.
so mad.
no, but that style of shooting real time dramatic scenes in very populated scenarios, like the I think they called it the tailgate party in Succession, where it's in Shiv and Tom's apartment. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of people. That's very Veep, where you learn a lot of stuff in a crowded environment with multiple characters, lots of dialogue. Like, I don't know,
And
that's hard. That's really fucking hard to shoot to make look real.
You should check out The Thick of It, which was Veep is kind of a pseudo-American adaptation of, but it was the same team.
Yeah. Is
Yeah.
that Armando
Yeah,
Iannucci? Yeah.
He does pretty good work. Okay.
Very good work.
Let's finish this up. Anything that we would change about to make it better? I think we've talked about a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think? I mean, a darker, grittier. I think that's also going to be a lot of like sitcoms. Is like just like make it more real.
Or,
Yeah.
maybe if his daughter knows what's going on, has something to lord over
Someone
him.
needs to know other than
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
Someone needs to know other than the
Which
man.
is what happens in Breaking Bad. Like, people start to like know the truth about him, and he's got to control who knows what exactly.
But the fact that no women know, you need one woman who like he can convince whatever bad argument it is. Just so then all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is how women act, because they're just kind of stumbling through it. And if you give it that framework and that narrative and stuff of like, all right, well, I guess we're doing this. You owe me one or whatever.
Yeah.
And doing it, you can create more of what it like, because that's the experience that it is. It kind of ends at what ends if a man looks like a woman.
You know who I
When-
bet does know? We just didn't see enough episodes. I bet John Caparulo knows.
Yeah, he knows the truth.
Finally, another dude
Yeah.
who knows.
Yeah.
He might not.
Yeah.
I would love to. I would love to see them get some kind of comeuppance, because like this is very. It's. I don't know if it's illegal, but it's very amoral.
They were using their same names.
Yeah, that's very convenient too. That they both have.
Yeah.
Lee and Angel.
Gender neutral names.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm so
Also,
curious if
what
Angel
ID
did
did they
score.
use? What social security
Yeah.
card?
Yeah.
The same one because their name already.
Yeah, but it says M.
Yeah. Okay.
And you do have to give your driver's license.
Yeah.
Like,
Does he have 2 driver's license?
who knows?
Yeah, probably. I spent the last of my $1,000 getting all the documents required to make my new version. All right, let's recommend shows.
Man Up.
Recommend like a real one.
Yeah, watch Succession. I don't
Yeah,
know what
all
to
right,
tell
there
you.
you go. Watch Succession. Watch his better show.
I mean, we literally recommend any show.
Any
This
show.
Is how you
Like-
close the podcast.
Yeah, just
thing.
recommend. Well, because listen, we watch bad TV. Let's look at. Here are good shows to check out.
If
can
you
talk
have
about-
children, Big City Greens is like my number one show. If you like animated Simpson-esque,
Big City
fun,
Greens.
fun TV shows. Yeah, Big City Greens, fun family drama.
How's it
with-
compared to Bluey?
Better. I like Bluey. Bluey's cute, but this is like fun. I'm like invested in these children.
All right. Big City Greens. I've never heard of that one. And I should have thought about this before. I just really got you.
Somebody's got to recommend Barry. Have you recommended Barry?
I haven't recommended. I mean, Barry's incredible. It just ended. Check it out. It's so good.
Also about people pretending to be people they're not, just actors
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
drag. But
You know, Barry's actually kind of offensive. That guy has so much cash from his hitman job, and he's pretending to be a poor actor.
Mm.
well, have a good one, everybody.